Guys, it's official. John Calipari is now officially leaving the University of Kentucky. The news was dropped. The news dropped probably about uh, late Sunday. The news came out. Pretty much was rumors, right? So as the information that we was getting down here in the state, there's a lot of rumors. I mean that he had interest in Arkansas. Uh, but it wasn't official until today. He made his cut it video, posted on the UK website, and sent it to the national media and the local media as well to make it official. And one of his statements he made was that the university needs another voice. The basketball team needs another voice. And so I can't fault him for saying that. All right. I can't. I can't fault him for saying that. Guys, I shot a video before when we was pretty much uh, a lot of the fan base was undecided on whether he deserved to be bought out to go or they was just done with him. It's been really split in a lot of ways. Uh, I heard some fans say, they ready for him to leave. And then also you heard some fans say, hey, I think he deserved one more year. I think he could turn around. Who else would we get? All the sayings that people would say, when there's a change in a coaching ranks. But at the end of the day, I think it had to happen. So when he said that the basketball team needs a new voice, the program needs a new voice, I can't disagree with him. Like I said, I shot a video earlier when they had Mitch Barnhart and Cal had a meeting. What's the state of the program, pretty much. And Coach Mitch Barnhart was willing to keep him, didn't want to pay the $33 million buyout. Not saying we didn't have the money to do it. I believe they did. Just made the decision we're going to keep him, stick it out, give him an opportunity to maybe make some adjustments, make some corrections, look at the lineup, look at the recruiting and what we're bringing in, and start taking advantage of the transfer portal. So it seems like Coach Cal was willing on doing that, and possibly even making some staff changes. So that was also, I'm sure, it was in the works or in the conversation as well. But with that said, I mean, for all we know, Cal's been saying that, but in the back of the mind, he probably already had an idea. I'm getting some fillers out there that there's some other opportunities. So, rumor has it that he was even contemplating leaving Kentucky for that Ohio State job. Now, I don't know how true that is. How rumors are. It is what it is. But leaving Kentucky to go to Arkansas, it's going to be different, especially when Coach Cal comes into Rupp Arena and plays Kentucky on a home floor that he used to coach on, that he won a national title at, and that he got, a lot of great history here. He got us a lot of wins, brought in a lot of great players, a lot of NBA players, a lot of players that didn't go to the NBA, but they were still great for the program. He brought a lot to the program, especially at a time where we just came off of dealing with a coach who was pretty much a bust, a failure, and Billy Gillispie. So he came in at the right time, bought players, and gave us some exciting games, exciting years, and some good times. But unfortunately, in the midst of some of them good times, there was some down times, especially the last 4 seasons when we're losing first round games to teams like St. Peter's, Oakland, Kansas State, losing first round of NCAA tournaments, losing in the second round of NCAA tournaments. That's not good. It's not good. And it doesn't also help that during the COVID season, we only won 9 games and lost 16. Going 9-16 is rough. Now, I know it's during the COVID season, but guess what? Everybody had to deal with that same season, but yet they were still teams that was able to be successful. But with that being said, Kentucky is a historic program, and we all about winning. We all about competing, and we want to be competing for opportunities to win titles. Win the SEC title, win the regular season title, win the national championship. That's the standards that we have in Kentucky. And if the coach is not living up to that standard, no matter who he is, sometimes it's just time to go. Sometimes it's just time to go. And so maybe coach seen the writing on the wall. And he said, look, I'm going to get out while the fire's hot. There's another good job that's opening up in the same conference. A conference that's winnable, a conference that you can compete in, a conference that will allow you to go to the NCAA tournament and compete. I can't fault him for taking the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? And saving face instead of, being fired or something like that, or being let go, however you want to label it. It's always better to, resign, I guess, instead of being fired. So Coach Cal made a decision to leave Kentucky and go to Arkansas. Again, I'm going to tell you, I don't blame him. It was getting hot in the kitchen. It was getting hot in the kitchen. And he wasn't doing what he needed to do. He wasn't living up to the Kentucky brand or the Kentucky expectations. Now, he was still getting good players in. And that's all cool, fine, and dandy. But with all these good players you're bringing in, we expect to see results in a category of the NCAA wins. And we just wasn't seeing them. And so you only have so many chances. You only have so many opportunities to make it to the NCAA tournament, make it to championships and compete and doing all that. And Coach Cal just wasn't getting done. It's just unfortunately he wasn't getting done. Now, I always thought he was a good coach. I always thought he could do his thing and bring in players. I thought he could coach them. You have some people who felt like he could never coach you. He just was one of those guys that just get good recruits and roll out the ball and everybody went. Now, that's not how it works. Even with them good players, you still have to manage personalities and attitudes. Just because you get a good player don't mean everything's going to go everything. It's not how it works. You still got to coach them up. You still got to manage these personalities. Still got to have them gel and find a way for them to get along, to be able to play defense, to be able to share the ball on offense and do their things. Because these players, they all come from different states, different countries, different locations of the world. And so with that being said, you're going to have some situations where one player speaks a language that they may not fully understand. And then you have another player who speaks maybe with a country accent, such as myself. I speak with a country accent. And so, you have somebody with a country accent talking to somebody from out of the country, there might be some communication problems. And so you got to have that coach to be able to communicate with these players from wherever they are, whatever part of the world or region or state. You got to be able to communicate with these guys, get their point across, teach them, coach them up, and get them to do it out on the floor, especially when the lights come on. So, I see Coach Cal do that at times, but then there's times where he failed us because we would have one of the best recruiting class, but the results just didn't show that. The results didn't turn into championships. At least not enough. Now, he did get us that one championship in 2012, but it's been a long time. And those saying, what have you done for me lately? especially when you got other programs out here still winning, getting back to the championship, getting back to Final Fours and competing. And we're one of the blue bloods of college basketball, and we're not there. That doesn't sit well. That doesn't sit well. So let me say this. I appreciate what Cal has done for the program. I appreciate what Cal has done for the Kentucky brand. BBN, we should all give that man a round of applause and tell that man thank you for what he has done and what he's brought to the program, how he's uplifted us out of the gutter from where Billy Gillespie took us to with his 2 seasons. You know, at the same time, make sure we show some gratitude to him. Now, I know when it comes down here, when Arkansas comes down here, we play them, we're more likely going to boo. I expect that. But before we start booing, let's wait till the game starts and boo. How about prior to the game, we show our appreciation by giving that man a round of applause and cheering for him and let him know how much we do respect him, how much we do appreciate him. Because at the end of the day, he was our coach for 15 plus years, and he's given us a lot. He's done a lot for the program, and he took us to a certain level, man. He took us to a certain level. For the next coach, is going to have to definitely make sure he brings his lunch pail and live up to, because it's not going to be easy. Please believe it's not going to be easy. But I feel like if the next coach comes in, can win over the fan base and can start winning and creating lasting memories like, you know, SEC titles, you know, competing and fighting to get into the Final Four or competing for a championship in the NCAA tournament, I think it'll all be good for the new coach. But is he going to have a certain standing you have to live up to? Yes. Especially when you talk about bringing in good players. Because guess what? We tasted that opportunity playing in these good high caliber players, these McDonald's All-American, these all-star players. Doesn't mean we want to stop getting them. We still want to get a few in there. But at the same time, I know we also have to make sure we utilize the transfer portal to take advantage of that. Because the game now is changed from what it was in 2012. These NIL deals allowing these players to stay a little longer. They slow to go to the pros because I may not get the big contracts in the NBA. I may not be the lottery picks where I'm gonna get the big money. And so if I'm a second round pick, I might as well stay in college, get all this NIL money as I can. You know, soak it all up as much as I can. And for some of the guys who may not even make it to the NBA, they're more likely gonna stay around. And they want to get all the NIL money. They're good enough to play pro ball, but just maybe not in the NBA. So we got to take advantage of all aspects of the college game right now. Take advantage of the NIL, take advantage of the transfer portal, and continue to get these top-notch recruits. That's what we got to do at Kentucky. That's what we do at Kentucky.